Hey, sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live on this Tuesday night, ready to talk some March Madness Final Four, giving out a little bit of predictions, some thoughts, and more. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you check out all of the channels that are scrolling across the bottom. That's everybody who participates on this podcast, WTP Sports Dudes. Make sure that you check out all of those scrolling across the bottom. We really appreciate you. That's also some of our sponsors that's scrolling across the bottom of there as well. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. We're going to get ready to jump right on into it and get into some of this Final Four action that we know is going to be taking place this weekend. I'm excited to be here, trying to get some of this stuff off of my screen because it's in the way of what I'm trying to do. What's happening, Papa Whitmore? Glad to see you in the building with us this evening. Thank you for always supporting us. We appreciate that, and thank you so very, very much. Let me get this thing fixed here where I can get all of our channels scrolling across the bottom real quick. All right, there we go. We are ready. I got my man One Take Zaya in the building with me this evening. How you feeling, One Take?
I'm good. What's up with you, family?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. We also got our man T1 of City League TV in the building with us tonight. How you feeling, T1?
What it do? Hey, I'm living the RV life, man. I just popped up in here. I just popped up in here, man. I said, let me go holler at the homies, man. I ain't seen y'all in a few days, man. What's good? I'm feeling great.
That's good. Good to see you. We got also
good to be seen.
Post game sports podcast. How you feeling post game?
Man, I feel wonderful, man. How y'all doing? It's good to see all y'all up here. Talk that good talk of sports like we always do. What it do, y'all?
It's a beautiful day, bro. It's a beautiful day.
He said, you look like me. I know that's right, Papa Whitmore. I know that's right. Well, y'all, let's get into these questions that we got out here in the chat from those who want us to answer some of what they got going on. We got the women's Final Four is set. What player from each team makes sure all Final Four teams, and who get that last spot on your starting five?
Somebody can go ahead and get that. Y'all know I ain't heavy on the players. I'm more with the teams. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Well, I can start. For me, the only difficult position I had was the point guard position because I had a hard time choosing between Azzi Fudd and Roy Harmon. I think Azzi is naturally the better scorer, but I love the way Roy Harmon runs her team, sets her teammates up, and gets a lot of assists. So I went Sarah Strong, Joyce Edwards, Lauren Betts, Madison Booker, and I'm gonna get a nod to Roy Harmon. I like Azzi Fudd, but Roy Harmon has just been impressive for me.
What you got on that One Take?
Yeah, I ain't really tapped in too much too, man. I watched a few women's college games, but I ain't been able to really catch the gist of it. So, we're gonna go ahead and wing off with our man post game and say he's spitting them true facts. I trust him,
Already.
Yeah, I like that five that my man post game said as well. I'm gonna go with Betts, Booker, I'm gonna go with Raven Johnson in place of Rory Harmon. I'm gonna go with Azzi Fudd and Strong from UConn as my fifth player. All the number one seeds make it to the Final Four. Is there one game you'd rather watch over the other? Would you rather see South Carolina, UConn, or Texas, UCLA?
Yeah, I gotta go Texas UCLA because Texas beat UCLA early in the year, but I got UCLA winning it all. You know, UCLA been on the heater since that loss, so that's gonna be the more intriguing game for me. I think UConn definitely got their hands full with South Carolina, but UConn been the most dominant team in the sport. I don't see no reason why they shouldn't win that game for real.
Hey, I don't know. As y'all know I'm a Big Ten homer, so y'all know I'm rocking with UCLA. You know, and you know, as they said, I mean, they only have one loss on the season, right, Zay?
Yeah,
They only have the one loss on the season, and I've only watched them play like 2 times. You know, and that second time was just here in that last game, and they're very impressive. They're very, very impressive all across the board. But you know, when you just talk about the history of women's basketball, and you got UConn, number one UConn, and number one South Carolina matched up. Man, give me that smoke just because of who the names out there. Give me all of that smoke. I would have to. What was that? What was that we did Saturday? Check it. I would have to respect that UConn in South Carolina. You got to respect that post game. You feel me?
I feel you, brother. I feel you to the fullest. For me, I can't decide. These are both bangers. We got all number one seeds in the women's Final Four, which is predictable somewhat. We normally get the number one seeds, but I can't choose. I'm looking forward to both of these games. Will UConn continue to be dominant? South Carolina's depth and athleticism get the UConn. Then you got Texas, UCLA, the rematch. Both of these teams, man. Madison Booker, fellas, that crossover pull up in the midi is money, cash money. I love her game, so I'm looking forward to both of these games. I don't know if I can choose which one I like over the other. I think we in for a treat with both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a homer and pick the Texas UCLA game, but it's probably the most intriguing out of them because they played earlier this season and Texas won. And you want to see if this game is going to be one of those games where one team or over the other gains some kind of advantage because of that first matchup that they had early in the season. But when you got Don Staley and Gino Auriemma going head to head, and lately they've been the best coaches in women's college basketball probably for the last maybe 10 years. I'm going to pick that game as the one that I want to see the most because those two have been the best two coaches in the women's game the last 10 years. So I want to see that one the most. Even though I'm a Texas fan and I want to see them play UCLA, I'm going to go with the other game, which is UConn and South Carolina. Wrong question. What should South Carolina and UConn do to be victorious in this game? You don't got to give me a prediction, but what do you think both of those teams need to do against the other to be victorious?
hey, it's the Final Four, man. It's real simple. Your stars got to be stars. That's all it is. If your stars don't show up, you really have a lesser chance to win than if the other team's stars play better.
Yeah, you definitely correct about that. For South Carolina, I think South Carolina has to avoid turnovers. We know UConn is a great defensive team. They pick up 93 feet on the defensive end of the ball. They got to avoid turnovers, and they have to be consistent for the duration of the game offensively. That's the keys to victory for me when it comes to South Carolina getting to that national championship game. For UConn, they got to avoid foul trouble with Sarah Strong in this big matchup she got in the post. I think if Sarah Strong can stay out of foul trouble, UConn setting themselves up to be in great position to win the game. And they also have to be consistent on the offensive end. Their depth, both of these teams have great depth. We've seen UConn against Notre Dame. Notre Dame did a good job against their Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd, but it was the others stepping up. And these girls are 4 or 5 star players that would be starting anywhere else. Same thing goes for South Carolina. So I think South Carolina has to avoid turning the ball over, and Sarah Strong has to stay out of foul trouble being matched up against Edwards.
Yeah, I'm not sure if T1 stepped away from the screen or not. But for me, South Carolina definitely has to start this game off fast. They cannot start off this game slow and allow UConn's defense to dictate the beginning of this game. They got to come out. They got to knock down their open shots, and they got to be willing to make sure that they handle that 90, however long that court is, that pressure full court. They got to be able to get in their sets as quickly as possible with that shot clock and make sure that they get good ball movement and find the open person for the open shots. If they can do that, I think South Carolina can beat in this game down the stretch and make it interesting in the end. For UConn, I agree with you post game. They got to make sure that they keep Sarah Strong out of foul trouble. They're going to need her on the court because if you have to guard Edwards with a backup player, Edwards might be licking her chops, and she might be able to take advantage of them. Even though this is UConn and we know they got very, very good players on that team, high star ratings, and all of that, it's a different ball game when you're talking about the Final Four and you got to go out there and guard one of the best players on the other team's roster. So if they can do that and the stars show up as well, like my man Wante Isaiah said, I think both of these teams can be in pretty good shape if they can make sure that the other team does not capitalize on mistakes that they might make. T.Y. not back yet. All right. Texas beat UCLA early in the regular season. Which coach has the best bulletin board material because of that game?
Hey, that's one of the girls' games that I watched earlier in the year. And, Maddie Booker didn't have her best game in that game, nor did Lauren Betts. So, man, it's going to be a heavyweight championship fight, honestly. Like, I think they both got requisite bulletin board material, and they both know each other just by seeing each other. So, man, I ain't even going to choose nobody. I'm going to slice it right down the middle, man. And I just expect a great game. I just expect a hell of a game. I don't expect neither one of them 2 stars to play how they played in the first matchup. But I can say this. Texas coach, for her to contain Lauren Betts the way she did in that first game, I think she need to take that same game plan, kind of tweak it a little bit, but I think you need to stay the script on what you did the first time.
Hey, real quick, we're going to stop all of this cutting in half stuff, y'all. That y'all keep taking the easy road out, want to cut in half. We need to
Man, if
know
we
what's
want to
going
cut in
on.
half, we gonna cut in half, bro. You ain't
We'll
stopping
cut it in
nobody
half.
from
We'll cut it
cutting
in
in
half,
half.
then. Cut it in fours, then. Cut it down into some 20s, then one take. Do what you gotta do, then one take. My fault, man. I forgot one take gonna go off on you if you try to tell him to do what he ain't supposed to be doing. But hey, I think that UCLA is that's the only loss that they have, right? So that's all the bulletin board material you need. All you need to do is just put that score up there, and you don't need to say anything else. Nothing else to be said.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry, T1, but I can't choose because like for me, like both bulletin board material can work. Like y'all see UCLA only loss. That's from us. They can't beat us. Let's jump ball, let's roll, right? And then you got UCLA, okay, they beat us. That was our only loss. We a better team than when they beat us. We didn't play our best. We a better team now. Let's ball, jump ball. Let's get to it. So I can see it working. It all comes when you talk about bulletin board material. It's going to come down to which coach is the better motivator. If UCLA coaches is the better motivator, their bulletin board material will work better. If Texas has the better motivator at head coach, then the bulletin board is going to work in their favor. But I've been on both sides of this before. I'm sure all of y'all had playing sports coming up, so it can work either way.
I agree with you right there too, folks.
Hey, I don't think I think bulletin board material is really to tap into the team's will. That's who's gonna win the game. Who got the will to win? Because them long summer workouts. When you running around them tracks, you running them stairs. That's the stuff that prepare you for these moments.
Yeah, the fact that UCLA lost that game, I think they have the advantage in terms of bulletin board material because they lost the game and they should have a chip on their shoulder. We have a blemish on our record because this team we're about to face here in the Final Four put it there, and we need to correct that wrong. We need to beat them on this biggest stage and propel ourselves to the national championship game. That's the only way that you could feel good about having that blemish on your record. If you was able to avenge that loss in the Final Four, it would be better if it was a championship game. But the Final Four is close to being good enough. So I think UCLA has the advantage. But Texas coach, he's been able to get this team turned around after that loss to Vanderbilt. And they've been playing some really good defense and some really good basketball. So I'm quite sure he got some bulletin board material of his own. But if I had to pick one, I'm picking UCLA having the better bulletin board material since they took the loss. Let's turn our attention to the men's game and the Final Four that's going to be taking place this weekend. UConn and Illinois square off on Saturday. What percentage do you give each team to win this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Illinois as being a favorite going into the game. I give them about a 53% chance. 47. It's close. It's close to 50-50. You know, I just think this Illinois team they're playing their best ball of the year right now. Um, Even if shots aren't falling, they've been playing good defense. They've been getting to the rim. Um, last game they started to catch a rhythm, I feel like, on the perimeter with their outside shooting. And I like their lineup, man. You got the 7-footer. He can stretch the floor. He can go inside, outside with it. Then you got long bodies. And Rob, you've been saying for weeks that they real slow footed. But man, sometimes it ain't really about your foot speed. It's just about the willingness to play defense. Them dudes play hard. So I do think Danny Hurley is probably top 2, 3 coaches. I kept saying earlier in the year he's probably the best coach in my opinion in college basketball. So I definitely think they could win this game. I just don't know about their backcourt, man. Their backcourt gives me room to pause.
Yeah, fellas, for me, this is a tough game. I got it 50-50. I like both of these teams. I like Illinois. I like UConn. UConn got some grit, man. And like one take Zay said, they got great coaching. Uh I man, I gotta go 50-50. I think both of these teams are in good position to win. I think UConn might have a little more flair to them after how they knocked out Duke in the Elite Eight. So I mean, I gotta give it 50-50. I think this game gonna come down to rebounding and 3-point shooting. But I can say the same thing about Michigan and Arizona.
Give me Illinois. Give me Illinois. Give me the Big Ten. And I'm hoping that UConn has run out of gas. I hope that Duke game took everything out of them, and Rob's team can get up in that national championship game.
Yeah, percentage-wise, I got Illinois 52-48. I think that this Illinois team, especially if they can control the defensive end of the floor and get defensive rebounds and get UConn in some one and dones, they can play the style of offense that they want to play on the other end, which is really a half-court set style of offense. They really aren't the fastest of teams, even though from time to time they can get up the floor. But whenever they could play that half-court style of offense, man, and do the things that they do in terms of using their big man inside, outside, being able to set screens for Wagler, and him being able to get to the cup from time to time or hit the three, bringing Stojakovic off the bench as their sixth man. I think they have a formula right now that's really, really clicking. That's why I'm giving them the 52-48 percentage edge over UConn, because they've been able to take some teams who I thought was going to be able to just be way quicker than them. And they've been able to nullify that team's quickness and hold them down, because they've been playing, like one take Zay said, they've been playing some really good defense here. And I think you have to attribute that to the fact that they played a really tight Big Ten schedule. The style of play that they play in the Big Ten has really helped Illinois in this tournament, and they've been able to do some things. So I think Illinois got the slight advantage, 52-48 percentage-wise. Michigan and Arizona are the only number one seeds left. Would you much rather see this game in the championship over the Final Four?
Yeah, that's 100%, Rob. Listen, if you asking if they should reseed once we get to the Final Four, in this year's Final Four's case, I would say absolutely. I think Arizona and Michigan are hands down the best teams left in the Final Four. And I don't think they should be facing off until the championship game. That's just my opinion. I like Illinois. I like UConn. I think we should have UConn, Michigan, Arizona, Illinois, or however you want to slice it between those four teams. But the way Yaxel Lindenborg and those guys are playing at Michigan, and the way Arizona's been playing, I definitely think this should be the championship game.
Yeah, I can't necessarily say that because Duke lost on a buzzer beater, man. We should have 3 for real, but we got an all-time great March Madness shot that left them out of it. So, and just a couple boneheaded decisions. But you know, I definitely think the winner of the Michigan Arizona game will end up being the national champion in March Madness. But I'm not so sure that it's just going to be handed over like that easy because the type of grit that UConn plays with and me feeling like Illinois could catch a heater from the 3 point line. And people, when you go into a game like that, everybody get a little juice. Everybody gets a little juice. So I can't just sit there and say that I think the winner is going to come from that game, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did see an upset because once again, this is March Madness, baby.
Hey, all of us on here, we're probably college football first. And we see this in the college football playoff all the time. We always see them matchups before the national championship game where it's like this the real national championship. It's not. It's not. This the way it is. This the way it's set up. This the way it goes. And you just get a fabulous Final Four matchup. You get a fabulous Final Four game where the ratings are going to be sky high, and everybody's watching. The world is watching. You know what I mean? So this is definitely a game that I'm interested in watching every single second of it because it's going to be nothing but fireworks. So no, it shouldn't be the national championship game. It is what it is. It's a Final Four game, and I'm not going to discount that Illinois game over there either with UConn. Another great matchup, another fabulous matchup that we're going to get two great games. And those last two games in the Elite Eight, for a second, it looked like we got two horrible games. You had Michigan with a blowout, and then it really looked like UConn had no chance of winning that game. And then all of a sudden the magic happens, and y'all know how I feel about all of that magic all the way down to that last second. So the magic happens, and voila, there you have it. But I think we have a great Final Four matchup. This may be one of the best Final Four matchups out here. I just wish that Duke would, and I'm not even a Duke fan, but I wish they wouldn't have lost like that.
Yeah, I really do feel like, man, when they were doing these brackets and they were giving out those number one seeds, I know that Duke had beat Michigan maybe a couple of weeks before the end of the season. That gave Duke the nod over Michigan as that second number one seed. But I think once we've seen everything play out, I felt like Arizona and Michigan were the two best teams in the country, and I would have liked to have seen them on separate sides so that we came to a case like this, they would be meeting in the championship game. Of course, that's not the case. I don't want to slight the UConn Illinois game. I just feel like the Michigan and Arizona game is probably the matchup of the two best teams going into the tournament. And Duke losing that game to UConn, maybe we would be saying something a little bit different, especially if they would have kept that 19-point lead over UConn. But anyway, nevertheless, we got UConn and Illinois, and we got Arizona and Michigan. And the question on the table is, would we rather this will be in the championship game? For me, I wish this was the championship game, even though I'm an Illinois fan and I would like to see Illinois get there. So hopefully they win. But I think this Arizona-Michigan game, man, is going to be so unbelievable, man. So unbelievable. Who's on your all Final Four team on the men's side? Who y'all got as the 1 through 5, the starting 5 of all these teams that's left in the Final Four? Who makes up those teams for y'all?
I got it. What's up? I got to go at point guard. I'm going to go Keaton Wagler. I think he's been doing a good job at leading his team. At the 2, I'm going to go Braden Berries from Arizona. I'm going to go Yaxel at the 3. At the 4, Probably go Reed Jr. That man is a grown man. And then after 5, I'm gonna go Visick, if that's how you say his name, from Illinois. Yeah, that's my 5.
Yeah, that's a good squad. I had a similar 5, but mine was a little bit different. I'm starting with Yaxel Lindeborg before from Michigan. That his versatility reminds me of Kenyon Martin, a young Kenyon Martin. He nowhere near as explosive as Kenyon was, right? But his ability to guard multiple positions and knock down jumpers, 3-pointers, I think Yaxel is well deserving. Great player, man. I'm going Terrace Reed Jr. That dude is an X factor for UConn. And I love the way he plays ball, man. Really strong down there. I'm going Wagler. And I heard something interesting about Wagler. There's a guy who thinks that Wagler is a Steph Curry clone. But the interesting part was that he said, now we at the point where you see all the kids that were mimicking Steph Curry back in the day are now, 18, 19-year-old kids. And it really shows. And then I got 2 more guards. I went Braden Burries and I went Jaden Bradley, both the starting backcourt for the Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough of the individuals to have a top 5, so you can go ahead and get yours, Rob.
Man, I don't know enough of them dudes either. All I know is Wagner, Lindenberg. That's all. Them are the 2 dudes I really know. So I'm a scratch on that one too. I'm gonna just go with whatever one take said and whatever post game said. I don't know too many of those other guys on the other teams. I know they got some dudes. I just don't know their names.
Right, and I like to say this too about the WTP Sports Dude podcast. We don't just make up stuff and just throw it out there just to have an answer. We're gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. If we ain't got nothing for you, we ain't got it. Like when they come up to you and ask for 50 cents or $1, I ain't got it. So, we're gonna keep it 100 with y'all.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
You feel me, post game?
Next Tuesday, April 7th, the basketball portal opens. How busy has the portal been already, and what big names have already entered?
Well, I don't think it's been like huge names, but I think there's definitely been some really good basketball players, more so from the smaller schools that have entered the portal. Paulus Marakis, the 6'4" from St. Mary's, I think he's going to be a get once he decides which team he's going to go to. So I like his game. The guard from Oregon is another guy to look out for. I think once you see the tournament and you'll see some of the bigger names hop in the transfer portal.
I was gonna say that exact thing right there, post game. It's still kind of early in the game, which some teams just now getting up out of here, and you still got 4 teams still up in the building, and you have players on those teams that feel like they probably should be playing a little bit more than what they're playing, or you may have somebody that's playing, and it might be a squad out there that's letting them know they can come there and be the man. They feel like they got the potential for them to come there and be the man. So, you either have to, like with Bronny James. I don't know if Bronny James has even touched the court this year. So, and he's still out there. You have to wonder if Bronny had hit the portal.
Yeah, only person I know about is Devin Royal because he a Buckeye. I ain't really been tapped into the basketball portal just yet.
I mean, Bryce, my fault, y'all.
Yeah. Junie, he testing the NBA waters, but he keeping his college eligibility. He just want a scouting report, though. He'll be back. He just want to see what them scouts is gonna say he need to work on.
Yeah, because if he want to make some more money, he definitely should get another year because he didn't have enough. He had moments, but he didn't have enough moments to where he carried his team to a victory with a big 30-point explosion or a 35-point explosion. He had moments, and then he also had moments where he wasn't really there for a long stretch of time. So he definitely still has some game to work on.
Yeah, it hasn't been extremely busy as of yet. Of course, a lot of smaller school teams, because those guys are trying to, find them some homes fast in a hurry before all of these Power 4 school team players start hitting that portal and maybe possibly push them out. I don't know of any big names that are out there, but the thing that I just quite haven't understood yet about the basketball side of it is every year it looks like teams are going to be remaking their rosters. Like if I take Texas, for instance, they got these 12 to 13, 14 players on their roster, and they got a couple of guys who are graduating, but there's really only two guys that they are really concerned about retaining, and that is Dylan Swain and the big boy Montas. The other guys who are underclassmen, they're not necessarily trying to keep those guys, and those guys aren't necessarily trying to stay at Texas because they're probably dissatisfied with the playing time and the scheme and how the coach goes about coaching that team. And it's like, what? We're used to, if you got a guy on your roster and he's not going pro, you expect to see him back next year. And that's just not the case nowadays with the portal. And so every year it looks like teams are going to be remaking their teams. Of course, we got 4 freshmen that are coming in, but that's it. You would think that everybody that's going out, you would be bringing in that many freshmen to replace them, but that's not the case anymore. They're leaving space available on their rosters to either get some other guys who are going to come in from some other schools or some overseas players. And it's just a totally different ball game nowadays now that this transfer portal is in existence.
Hey Rob, do you think so? Swain not going to test them NBA waters? He going to go ahead and come back and try to get into that lottery?
Yeah, he's definitely going to see what his grade is for the NBA. And I'm going to tell you right now, in my opinion, I think that if he gets a first-round grade, he should go.
Oh, yeah, he go.
He should go to the NBA if he gets a first-round grade. The thing that I'm afraid of is the fact that he might decide I'm gonna see what my grade is gonna be, but I also might want to test the waters and see what kind of bread I can get at the collegiate level. Even though he likes Sean Miller, he left from Xavier to go to Texas to follow his coach. He's likes what's going on. If he doesn't make that decision one way or the other quick enough, and then he decides at the last minute to go to the NBA, then that leaves Texas in a pickle. And I hope that that's not the case. But if he gets a first-round draft grade, he should go to the league.
And hey, Zay, what you think about Royal testing that portal out? What you think about that one take?
I mean, I think he lost his spot, honestly. We got Anthony Thompson coming in that play the same position. So I think he got a little scared of the competition, honestly.
I think so too.
And for Swain, I think Swain will make a good decision to come back, man. Because the only thing he need to work on is that jumper, bro.
Yeah.
I would like to see him come back, but like I said, I think if he gets a first-round grade, he's going to probably go. Especially, it's so guard heavy in this draft. All of these freshmen is going to be one and done at the guard position. It might look really, really good for him to be get a first round grade?
Man, if we can get us some bigs, man, we could be back in the mix of things next year. We've been so far out the mix for the longest of times, but if we get lucky in this portal and get us some bigs to go with, Bynum and Thompson coming in and Mobley, man, I think we could do some things, man. We need to pull off what Michigan doing, man, because Michigan is getting bigs that's getting out there and producing 7-footers that's doing a little bit of everything. And, they're not playing with that bag when it comes to the portal. And I think Ohio State needs to open up that portal. It's about basketball.
And that's where I ain't rocking with Diebler, man, because we got that European dude on the bench, man, and we seen him early in the year, and he looked it better than Tilly.
Yeah, the 7-footer.
Yeah, he looked it better than Tilly. Yeah. We didn't even throw him out there at all, though. Like, what was we doing?
Yeah, I'm kind of, I really don't even want to give D this next year, but if he can hit in the portal, he good. But if he can't, and we get another year like this year, and I wasn't even happy with just barely making it to the tournament. So this portal, man, is kind of like making sports a little bit more exciting, because it's like you got a whole new team coming in every year, and especially with basketball, where you only have a top 5. So this portal is, now we're looking for our team to get in the portal and hop in that portal more than the recruits coming in.
Damn. Listen to this, though, T1. We had a chance to make a run at Dusty May, who's in the Final Four. And on top of that, John Calipari, his first option was Ohio State.
Yeah, and it's legal for him to do what he used to do back in the day now, so I don't see how we didn't go and get that big name. That was crazy. That was crazy to me now. It's all legal. It's all good. I'll take Patino. I'll take anybody with a name right now that can bring us some kids.
They wanted to keep it in the family, man. Sometimes that mess you up, though.
A lot of times it does.
Well, really, to be honest with you, you got to have that name in order for that university to open up that money, bro.
Yeah. Or you just have to be that type of program. And Ohio State's basketball program isn't that type of program. But look at this, though, fellas. We actually be getting players. We be getting 4 stars. We be getting some players. We be getting players. So then that makes me think that it just comes down to the coaching, and we're not. That's where we're missing at.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this, man. I've been on a couple of campuses in my days, and of course, we all grew up right around Ohio State campus, and we thought it was lovely when we were coming up. You go down there now, bro, and that's a totally different world. If you're
it's immaculate
to go to school and you go visit that campus, and you don't go there, I'm wondering if there's something wrong with your head, because they got everything, bro.
It's the capital. But look, Rob, even more than that, I ain't mean to cut you off. It's the capital city. You know what I mean? Like, and most of these schools are in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? Most of these schools are in the middle of nowhere, and they just built everything up around those universities. But Ohio State, when you come here, this stuff is like it's like a major city. Like, you got, if it was a university in Houston or University of Miami or whatnot. The Ohio State University campus is one of the best in the United States.
Oh, that's a fact. Let's tackle this last question I got on slate. Then we can talk about anything else y'all want to talk about after that. Should Cade Cunningham be allowed to win the NBA MVP, even though he most likely won't have enough games played?
I mean, if he don't meet the criteria with the games, it is what it is. I mean, that's the rules. You got to play a certain amount of games. That's my thing.
Yeah, I agree with you, T-Wine. As much as I hate to say it, he had collapsed lungs or whatever the situation. I'm sure any other MVP candidate couldn't control if they had an injury or not. But I feel really bad for Cade Cunningham personally because he was having such a wonderful season, and I think he definitely would have been in the MVP conversation had he stayed healthy. But I gotta agree with T-Wine on this, man. The rules are the rules. As much as I hate to see this happen like this, it just is what it is.
Hey, can I ask a question real quick? And I'm still in the same area. But do it seem like it's like where did all these collapsed lungs start coming from? That's weird. That's weird to me. Back in my days, you never heard of anything like that. You said what, Zay?
It's the Mile High pack.
Oh. Okay. That explains it, I guess.
You got to leave that 8 Mile Za alone, man. 8 Mile Za is a little different. Hey, listen, I like the rule, man. I think it incentivizes people to work on their just on their bodies. Like you got to work on your body in the summertime to be able to go through the rigorous NBA season. I think you need to eat different nowadays. You can't just be eating anything. A lot of y'all dudes should be having private chefs. And I like the rule. And for real, okay, he got Detroit in the top of the Eastern Conference for the first time, and I don't know how long, and he will be in the conversation, but I wouldn't give it to him. I wouldn't have probably still gave it to him. Like, Shai is on the run, right? I don't think people understand what Shai is doing right now. Nobody has ever averaged 30 points for 4 straight seasons in a row, I don't believe. And if it was, it's probably only one man, and they used to call him Black Jesus.
Yeah, Shai. This is Shai's league, man. And it may be OKC's time. I agree with you there, Jay.
Okay. Anything else y'all want to discuss before we wrap up? We're at around 48 minutes. That's all the questions that we had in the chat. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Y'all want to talk about y'all's teams?
Hey, what about Dude real quick?
Who that?
What's his name? Avery. Where was he at? Chicago? I don't know if y'all already talked about it. Not on this show, but on another one or something. But the dude from Chicago, they waived him. They said he said some LBGQ remarks or something. Avery he went to Iowa. Y'all ain't hear about that? He played with Chicago. I think he was even at Detroit before he got to Chicago this year. I think, but yeah, the player from Chicago, he just got waived because he made a remark about those people. Y'all, nobody heard about that?
I wonder if you're talking about Puka Nacua for real.
It's
No,
Avery.
he talking about Jaden Ivey.
Ivy. So, thank you.
I ain't hear about that.
Yeah, I
I'm
just wondered
saying,
if
like, the world. What did he say though? He was bashing the community.
I guess he just made a remark, man, and and I think that I just feel like everybody should be treated equally, man, and I feel like you shouldn't be. If you don't have anything nice to say about some people, you probably should just keep your mouth shut. But it's rough. It's rough out here when you talk about them, man. It's rough.
That's why we need Bernie Mac.
Yeah. I wish that when people talked about us like that, something will happen. But it doesn't. Or any other race. I'm not even gonna just say us. Any race. I wish if any person talked about any race in a negative type of way, I wish that something could be done about it, especially if it's a person that's, up on, a pedestal or in a spotlight or whatever, whatnot. I think that they all should be accountable for everything that they say and not just against a couple different people.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't mean to get off over into that.
no, you good, bro. Because it's even though this is a sports podcast, man, we still have a genuine love for human beings, period, regardless of whatever their whatever is. That doesn't make any difference
Absolutely.
to us. And I feel like, if you got an opinion about something, there might be a level of ignorance that you have about that topic or that person or that group. So you shouldn't really have anything to say anyway. I mean, so I just think there's no place for that, man. You can have your opinion if you want to, but that doesn't give you the right to go and talk negatively about anybody or any group.
And I just say too, for certain people and at certain ages, you know better. You know better. We was taught that at a young age to know better. You should know better, and him not knowing better cost him a couple dollars.
Well, let me ask y'all this, man, because we got 4 guys on this podcast, 3 different teams. 3 teams that the world feels like are going to be 3 of the top teams in college football next year. Me being a Texas fan, Coach Game being a Notre Dame fan, and then T1 and One Take Zaya being Ohio State Buckeye fans. Outside of our 3 teams, is there another team out there that you think could make a nice run for the national championship next year?
I mean, you always have to put Georgia in the hunt. I mean, you always have to say that Georgia is going to be there, and Bama at the beginning of the year. They're 2 that you just always have to put there. So that will be 2 that I will say you have to put there.
Yeah, I got my eyes on a few programs. Georgia, as T-Juan mentioned, is one of them. LSU is another one. I think it's a lot of exciting energy around that program right now. And I want to see Texas Tech, man. I want to see if they can make a leap this year as well and compete. Because they playoff performance last year. I wonder if it was just a case of we ain't never seen this type stuff, and I think that was a culture builder for their program. But we know they playing with top dollar, so they shouldn't have no shortage of talent over there. And I think they'll probably be able to run through the Big 12 again and be right there in the conversation of the top 7 or 8 teams in the country next year. So them are the three teams I'm gonna keep my eye on too. And we know what the Big Ten is looking like. You got about 4 or 5 cats out there that you got to worry about.
I was gonna say that I could put my 3rd team out there myself and throw Oregon out there because Oregon is always somewhere around the hunt, and their QB came back, so that always says a lot. And they was talking about him going in the 1st round, and he came back, so that says a whole lot about where that program would like to be next year.
Yeah, man, those were good picks. Outside of Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, Oregon, teams like that, the team that I'm really interested in is Miami. I know they losing Bain and Mesidor, that dynamic Russian duel, but them picking up Mensa in the transfer portal, that was a powerful get for that offense to go along with Tony and the running back they got, who made a dynamic play in the national championship game. So I'm excited for Miami. I want to see what they talk about. I think they can be potentially a top 3 to 5 team.
Yeah, y'all picked all the teams that I would have mentioned, but I got another question for y'all. How well do y'all think Matt Campbell will do at Penn State, and how well do y'all think James Franklin will do at Virginia Tech?
Franklin will have a better chance than dude at Penn State, man. I think he in trouble, and I don't even know if he realizes. But I think he may be in trouble, and I will say that Penn State has more losses than Virginia Tech next year.
Hey, T1, you could mark my words right now. Penn State will win at least 9 games this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So that means we're on different sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, they're scheduled. They got blessed by the schedule gods.
I think maybe that schedule might look good, but I think once they get the banging and clanking, we're gonna see though. We're gonna see.
Hey, he brought his best players from an Iowa State team that was very, very competitive in the Big 12.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He definitely possibly can be pulling a Cignetti or whatever his name, Cignetti. He definitely can be pulling one of those. But I think that 9 games is good because we know the 3 that they probably don't. You got the L's going to.
Well, they dodged a lot of people. They dodged a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
I think Franklin gonna struggle over there his first year though. Just because I don't think he got a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm with one take on this. I think it's going to be an easier rebuild at Penn State than it is at Virginia Tech for James Franklin. With him getting his players transferred in to Penn State, they already know what the culture is. They already know what to look for from the coaching staff. So I think Penn State is going to be the better team early on.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing both of these teams just off of this conversation.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to both of them too, but I tend to think that Penn State is probably the better situation, and the fact that Matt Campbell was able to bring, I think he brought maybe 20-something odd players from his Iowa State team over to that Penn State team, man, which is, you know how that goes, man. When you're able to bring players over that you already have a relationship with, you already know what they can do. It's really just plug and play in you're just in a new stadium now. So I think they're going to have the easier road. And I think Virginia Tech, even though it's a good place to coach, it's not Penn State. It's not Penn State. So I would lean towards Matt Campbell having a better opportunity, especially if they got a schedule that's not stacked with a bunch of high-profile Big Ten teams on their schedule. So they got a chance to get to them 9 wins, like one Tech Zaya said. Any other questions y'all want to throw out? We right at almost at 1 hour, or we can wrap it up.
Hey, I was gonna say too, just still piggybacking off of that. I mean, y'all got to understand it and don't discredit the Big Ten. So we're gonna have to first of all, we're gonna have to see if them Iowa State players can come in here and play some Big Ten football. I don't care if they bought 50 or 60 of them up over here. You're gonna have to be able to get in here and play this Big Ten football. I know I'm a Big Ten homer, but I don't care how many players he bought in. They came from the Big 12. It's 2 completely different conferences. So they're gonna have to see if they can play with these boys over here. Every team ain't like Iowa.
Iowa's a good football team. That's true.
I know, and Iowa is a good football team. But I'm saying everybody ain't like Iowa, y'all.
Hey, but they got Rocco. That's all. That's the only transfer that mattered to me.
Okay, who's that? The QB?
The QB.
Okay.
I think Iowa State's style of play is Matt Campbell's style of play and coaching. It better fits the Big Ten than it does the Big 12, in my opinion.
And that's why he was able to be competitive on the upper echelon of the Big 12 too, without the type of players that a lot of these other programs had.
Mhm.
So I agree with that statement.
Right, and he was playing in how many Big 12 championships?
It don't matter about that. It matters that
I'm just saying, if he playing players out there and they winning ball games, I don't care what kind of style you got.
He was always a game away every year.
He'll stay a game away. He'll stay a game away over here in the Big Ten too.
Oh, well,
when you scour his roster, you seen no 4 or 5 star players. He in Pennsylvania now. He got talent that's gonna come there just because they done been there and they been fans of the team the whole time. He got a different type of talent pool now.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
So let me ask y'all this, man, because y'all bring up some good points. We can say the same thing about Kyle Whittingham in Michigan, bringing players over from Utah. Do y'all feel the same way about the transfers they got from Utah and them playing in the Big Ten as opposed to the Big 12?
Man, this is true story. I told Poe as soon as they hired Kyle Whittingham that Michigan gonna be a problem. Cause he ain't got no problem with running his quarterback. They about to turn that Underwood boy into a running back, bro. He gonna be doing QB powers all game, and that's gonna make them a problem.
And Zay, that's how we won a whole lot of our games in the Urban Myers era. Brian Day came and changed that.
Yes, sir.
That's why Michigan couldn't beat us, because we had a running quarterback every time. That probably was going for about 100 on them and throwing for 100, 200 plus.
I think Kyle Whittingham gonna be just fine. Cause what do we know about Kyle Whittingham's teams? They play good defense, and he always got a good offensive line. That sounds like Michigan football to me.
Yeah.
Well, here's something that I saw that was interesting, and if it was fake news, let me know, because it sure enough sound fake, and it sure enough was funny. Did he hire a football player, president of football personnel, a young blonde chick?
I don't know.
I'm dead bone serious, man. Google it. I saw it, and they was like, "What in the world is he tripping?" The head of their football operations was a blonde chick, and they was like, "Oh, so he must not pay no attention to the last coach." I wish Poe was on here, or down there in the chat or something to let us know, or a Michigan fan or somebody. But I saw it. Like I said, I don't know if it was fake, but they was acting real serious about it. Anybody got a computer to Google it real quick or anything?
I can't associate another man. Hey, I can't associate another man's problem, man.
I just want to know if it's true. That's it. Or if it was fake news, because we know it's a lot of fake stuff out here. So you can't take everything that you see. Y'all know I don't.
Yeah, I think Kyle Whittingham is another one of those coaches from the Big 12 whose style of coaching and his teams are better suited for the Big 10 than they are the Big 12. And I think he's going to do just fine. He landed at a juggernaut of a university that we all know that's going to be able to get recruits and be able to compete at the highest level in the Big 10 and nationally. So I think that was a heck of a hire. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this year as well with Underwood. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all jumping on tonight, man. Everybody that's out there tuning in, or if you watch this video later on, please make sure that you look at all of the and somebody change that thing. Why that thing keep going away?
Change what?
All of our channels scrolling across the bottom.
Nah, it looked like the same one.
Yeah, I had to redo it because they had KT's Good Eats on there. But anyway, y'all, everybody, let's check out those the channels scrolling across the bottom. Everybody that you see on here on WTP Sports News, on Post Game 86 Podcast, on the One Take Zaya, City League TV, Level Up Sports 10, Blitzburg, and SEC Sean. Please go to all of our channels and subscribe. Because once you subscribe to one, we need you to go and subscribe to all of them to help us to continue to grow this platform, to grow our channels so that we can continue to bring you great content. Also, go to WTPSportsDudes.com to check out our website. We got some new information on there for you, so go check us out there as well. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your evening. I appreciate you all joining, and we out.
Peace.
Peace out. Salute.